Thank God you've arrived. I was getting worried.
Who are you speaking to?
To everyone. I was here all by myself, and now you and Kevin have just arrived. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, David.
Hello, David. How are you?
I'm cool. There's Kay. Great.
Hello.
Hi, Kay. How are you?
Okay.
How's everybody?
Good. Good.
Great.
Looks nice down in Cape Town today.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful. Mountain, yeah.
Well, we're about to have a storm up here.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna get cold then.
Timothy, great, you came back.
Timothy.
So I'm unable to stream to Facebook today. I've had to stream to YouTube. So
Why?
I'm not sure. It hasn't been able to connect all day. So we're getting a link. So it's going to the Foundation Clinic YouTube channel. Well, I hope it is. We'll just give it a couple more minutes for people to join. Yep, it is streaming there. Good.
I've just been watching CNN,
Yeah.
and the governor of New York has publicly called Trump a psychopath. It was a long time coming. So, what do you say? Well, yeah.
So how was yesterday afternoon? Did you guys do some coaching?
Yep.
Yes.
It's good.
And did it work?
It seems to work, but I mean I'm not really sure if I did have a question regarding the process.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
How
we
is
can
it?
check with Timothy, though.
Is that, did you, oh yes, you and Timothy coach.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's good from my side, and we can check with Timothy when he unmutes.
Timothy, how was Kevin with you? If you're talking, you're still muted. Oh, there he is.
Whoa.
Hello.
Guys,
He's in
sorry,
the red light district.
sorry to
Yeah.
break in. Sorry guys, can you excuse me for 15 minutes? I'm still on call and I've just got 2 articles that have come in. I have to do them. I'll come back if I may.
Of course
Is
you
that all
can.
right? Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you, thank you.
Carry on, Timothy.
Okay. I was saying that the coaching went well. I did with Kevin, and it was awesome. And yeah, it was deep and profound.
Deep and profound. Wow.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say to Kevin, I did follow through with my my homework. So I did my homework today.
Okay. So he held you accountable. He had an action point from you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to reply, Timothy, I've reached out by phone to 2 individuals, and I have nearly finished composing the message that I will put on the platform. So I have not complete, but well on track.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh. Who did you coach, Kay?
It was me and Brent yesterday.
Okay, so Brent's not here. All right.
No.
Okay.
That's better.
That looks a lot better, Kevin. Yes.
Much better, hey? Much better than my building site.
Right, it's 5 past. Let's start. What's the first thing we do?
Check in.
There you go. Cool. Would you like to start, Kay?
Yes, I'm feeling relaxed.
Good. Kevin.
I'm feeling a little stressed. I'm an asthmatic and my chest is tight. So right now, that's a real stressor for me. Apart from that, I'm relaxed and happy and really good, pleased to be here.
Cool. Timothy.
I'm feeling, I can say also, there's a bit of fear because I've got, I'm meeting someone and we are having kind of a chat, and there's a fear that my shadow will trip that meeting, and I wouldn't be able to say exactly what I want. So there's that underlying fear. Yeah, but other than that, I'm okay.
Cool. Keep on.
Hi. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling relaxed and yeah, excited for today's session.
Cool. Leslie.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
Okay, would you like
Would I like?
to check in?
Yes, I am checking in. Not sure how I'm feeling. I'm feeling late and I have to leave early as well. So it's very annoying, but I'm glad to be here at least.
Okay, cool. Good. All right. Is that everyone? I think it is. All right. So so let's just recap. I'm just curious what the coaching session was like for you guys yesterday. Some questions, some learnings. One at a time.
Yeah, it was interesting. David, we really enjoyed our time. I think we overstayed our time in our little breakout room. I must say, on reflection of the chat, I do think to criticize myself, I think I could listen more. I think I was mulling over it today, and I was thinking, I'm so used to trying to create solutions, and I think with this kind of formula, it's mostly to listen and to get your client to come up with solutions, and yeah, so that's a takeaway that I can have.
That's a great takeaway. Anyone else?
I must agree with Kiki. We were counseling each other, and yeah, it was very, very difficult not to formulate solutions as you're going along and kind of deciding for the client what good options would be, and to throw out those suggestions as well. I really have to watch myself as well.
Kay, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I found it also incredibly difficult to keep the conversation going in that like little area of that you spoke about, the culture of recovery part, because my partner had a problem. His thing that he wanted to address was with regards to another person, and it was the same kind of thing as what you mentioned yesterday, but a different, obviously a different scenario. And I really I did my best to keep asking the open questions, but I didn't really feel like I had much direction in terms of like getting him out of that loop or getting him out of that area to make it more about him and his recovery. So I was really having a question mark around like what actually is the culture of recovery. You know, like what does that look like? I suppose it's, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like it's less to do with other people. I think that's what kind of what you were saying yesterday, and more to do with yourself. So stop getting the person to stop seeing or blaming or like experiencing, I suppose, diverting problems off themselves onto other people, and rather to be focusing on what that means for them. I don't know.
That sounds great.
It's a bit confusing. Like I said, I think I need some more clarity. I don't know if we'll go into that today about what this culture of recovery looks like, if possible.
Sorry, say that again.
I said, if it's possible, I'm not sure if it's on the agenda for today, to maybe look more into what this, you know, you drew that little graph where in the middle line was the culture of recovery, what exactly that is. Okay. If we could look into that, that would be great, or just get some clarity.
Cool, okay.
Thank you.
Kevin, you want to say something?
Yeah, for me, I noticed, because as you know, I've been coaching for a little while now, and sometimes when I moved towards that place of eliciting from him what he wanted to do, let's put it this way, if the call had been recorded, I'd have been wanting to listen to it to see whether I was suggesting or simply holding it for him to suggest, because I'm not sure, to be quite honest. And also whether I could have held it better. Yeah, let's stay with that one. Was I directing him, or was I simply, and it was a fine line. It's a fine line sometimes. So yeah, I just sit with that, and part of me wishing I'd recorded it so I could have learned a bit more about myself in that space. Yeah.
Cool. Timothy, you want to add something?
For me, what I struggled with was listening on level 2 and 3. I found myself more on level 1, and also, you know, the kind of the leading questions, were they exploring what he needs to, where he needs to be, or what he needs to find out within himself, or it was me asking from my head and not holding the space as much as I need to. So that's where the challenge was. Well, am I holding the space, or am I speaking from my head what I'm thinking and not connecting emotionally with him?
Fantastic. That really was great feedback, guys. Okay, so can you all see the whiteboard?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what's really great about the feedback is you get the adult learning steps, and the first one is being unconsciously incompetent. You don't know that you're incompetent. You just kind of go off and kind of want to help people, but you don't realize that you don't know what you're doing. The next level is you become consciously incompetent. And with the feedback I'm getting from all of you now is you're all saying, oh, I don't know if I was leading questions. I wish it was recorded. I don't know if I was suggesting. I kept trying to come up with solutions with the client. The listening was difficult for me to listen at levels 2 and 3. Is fantastic. It's fantastic feedback because it just tells me now that you guys have become aware of how difficult this is. And with practice, you'll become consciously competent. So if I do this and I practice and I go along, and then after a while, you become unconsciously competent. You just are able to do this without even thinking. So what's really great about that is you want to be working in this sort of space with yourself and with your clients. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep. So it's like driving a car. Driving a car is a great metaphor. Before you drive a car, you kind of watch your parents or the adults drive a car and you think, oh, this is easy. You just put your hands on the steering wheel and you just go A, B, C, accelerator, brake, clutch, easy, put the clutch in, put it into gear and go. And then you suddenly realize, whoops, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. Then you go off to driving school and you do your test and everything, and then you can pass your test and then you practice driving. And then a few years later, you just drive and you don't even remember how you got there. In fact, some people get so pissed they don't remember how they got home at night. So that was a joke, people. God, you're a heavy lot again. Great. Okay. Okay. So what's great about this now is you kind of realizing, oh, and what we want you to be able to do is just to become aware of that. Make sense? Cool. Good. Right. So let's just recap where we are. Okay. How do I get this to? There we go. All right, so that's where we started yesterday. And this is the conversation that we had, the structure of the conversation. And oh, you wanted me to go over, well, we're talking about a culture of learning, yeah? So where you learn a skill set or something and you move across. I spoke about a culture of addiction where somebody uses, they misuse, they abuse, and they become dependent on something. They essentially go mad, yeah, and they descend down into the crisis of addiction, and then hopefully they'll move into a culture of recovery, yeah. And our job is to try and get our clients to move from this area to here as quickly as possible, so that they can avoid treatment or to prepare them for treatment. Now the question is, what is a culture of recovery? Okay. So what is a culture of recovery? If a culture of addiction steals from you, yeah, all the things that you lose as you're descending, a culture of recovery is gaining that back. Does that make sense? So what's the client's needs? What are their values? What's their purpose? What action do they need to take? So here I am, I'm in a culture of recovery. I need finance. Yeah, I need independence. I need loving relationships. I need a career. I need my self-esteem. Yeah. And we spoke about recovery capital. Recovery capital is the internal resources and the external resources available for someone when they want to move from here. So the first kind of resources are going to be things like food, shelter, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all those sort of basic things. Then people need to do something, have something to do with their time. A lot of people use because they're just kind of bored. There are 4 causes to addiction. Yeah, the 4 causes, yeah, one is chemical imbalance. So the person's chemically unstable mentally, and they've been self-medicating. Yep. There's unresolved issues of guilt, shame, and trauma. Something's happened in the past, and if the person deals with it, they no longer have to medicate, self-medicate. Inability to change current situation. If you were married to my wife, you'd also drink, and I can't get divorced because I'm Catholic. I'm unemployed, I don't have a job, and I need to sell drugs to make a living. Yeah. And then the 4th cause is false beliefs. Yeah. I've got this formula that can beat the casino. If I snort cocaine, it makes me work better. I need to drink to work with my organization. And the majority of people, their addiction is a combination of all of those. Yeah. Any questions?
Just go through again the ICCS bit.
Inability to change current situation. Yeah. So my environment, I'm stuck in it, and I have to use to survive it. Yeah. I'm a sex worker, and I have to use because, I hate the environment that I'm in, but I need to feed my kids. So a lot of people are stuck in situations that exacerbates the problem. Yeah. And coaches work in this area here. Yeah. And we have coaching conversations, and we're aware of the recovery capital around them. So recovery capital here would be something like a medical doctor. Over here would be the biopsychosocial model. You have counselors, social workers, therapists, and this all sits in the treatment world. Yeah, we're working in the place of wellness. And in this area would be something like self-help support group or a faith-based organization, mutual aid, 12-step fellowships. Yeah. And that's where our clients, where we as coaches in this space have a conversation with our clients, and we're aware of these places as well that our client might make use of. Yeah. And we listen to the client's experience, get an understanding of their culture. Yeah. Understanding of their history. And then this side is influenced by structure. Excuse the messy slide. Okay, so the idea is we have conversations with our clients where we take responsibility for this side, they tell us about that, and we listen, and we also see what might work for them here. So for example, on culture, yeah, I think it's very offensive to send a Muslim man to a Christian rehab where they adopt Christianity. Yeah. Is making sense? Any questions, anyone? Questions, anyone?
not so far from me.
I had a question. When we are listening on level 1, 2, and 3, so is that listening to the needs, the values, and the purpose? Is that what it is?
That's one of the things we listen for. Yeah. But we also listen to see how they respond. Yeah. So you might be talking to a client and you know that there's a very good 12-step support group down the road. And then you'll say to him, like, have you ever been to 12-step meetings? Yeah. And then the client will kind of bulk back and go, oh, I'm never going there. I don't want to do that. Yeah, you're kind of listening to their response, but also how they're reacting physically and how that's going to impact the relationship. So a lot of people then would say, no, well, you must go to meetings. You have to go. Yeah, and try and get strong arm the person to go there. And then that just feeds into more resistance. There might be a opiate substitute treatment somewhere where they could move from opiates to methadone or something. I mean, what I try and do is listen to all three at the same time. My own listening, how I'm being impacted, how the client's being impacted, and how the relationship is working. Did I answer your question, Kiki?
Yeah, so it's level 1, 2, and 3. It's almost like, okay, so what I'm hearing, and it's like what also the feelings are. Like listening to hearing feelings. So to try and get some more questions, open questions.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks.
And also to be aware of your feelings. So in a lot of the clinical setting, the clinician keeps their feelings to themselves. Yeah. In the coaching relationship, we bring our authentic self to the relationship, as long as it's in service of the client. Yeah. So you've been coming here for 3 weeks. You keep telling me you want to stop using. Each time you come here, you've been using. I'm getting really frustrated with this. How do you feel about it? Oh yeah, I'm really frustrated too. Oh. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it's making sense. Thanks.
I think, yeah.
Gwen, did you want to say something?
In my experience, for what it's worth, there's such a thing as listening so hard that you don't hear. When one becomes very self-conscious about listening, and this is certainly something that's happened to me and still sometimes happens, that you become so involved watching yourself, listening and being on edge about it. And oh my God, I must look at this, I must listen to that, that you miss because sometimes a person is saying something that they're not aware of. In the clients that I've coached before, they often don't know what it is that they're expressing until they're given an opportunity to say it. It's giving them the space to articulate their own problems, something they may never have done before. And it's easy. I've missed often the point of what a client is saying because I was so busy auditing the way I was listening that I forgot I didn't hear. That was devastating. So yeah, I don't think that was a useful comment to anybody, but I threw it in because it's my own experience. Sorry. Sweet.
Can I just say something about that? I don't know if it's valid or not, but I find it quite helpful to listen for a time and then repeat back to the client what I've heard. And that kind of brings some clarity to the situation and what's being said as well. That, it takes on a different kind of not a truth, but yeah, is that a valid thing to do?
Yeah, no, reflective listening is a great tool. Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
It's
pardon?
it's got a name.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is, what I heard you say was, it's a tool that's used a lot in counseling, and people that are kind of social workers or counselors by profession, when you talk to them about coaching, they'll often turn around and say, yeah, but that's just counseling. Okay. And it's similar, but it isn't. Yeah.
Okay.
The difference is often people go and see a counselor with there's a pathology there, there's a wound, there's something that you need to get counseling over. Coaching is in a different space. It's more in the space of positive psychology, but the tools are often the same. Yeah. Reframing, championing, reflective listening, to name bottom lining. Yeah, bottom lining is like, what are we talking about? What you just, let's get to the point. Blurting, you just blurt something out.
Great.
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's us recovering the conversation again. What we're going to move on to now is the continuum. Oh. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So we've got 4 continuums here. So what is a continuum? A continuum is a line that gets from kind of point A to point B. Yeah, something that we can measure. And the first continuum we want to be aware of is where our client sits, yeah, and to which direction they are moving. Hopefully, they'll be moving towards high well-being and not towards premature death. So can somebody have terminal cancer but be living in this place, in this area?
Which area? High wellness.
Hello?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you can, David. Perhaps in relative terms, but you can certainly optimize where they are.
Okay. So things like attitude. Yeah. Or can you have somebody kind of have a diagnosis and their attitude takes them down to premature death? Yeah. Diabetes. Sorry, it's quite irritating. I can't see you guys, so I'm trying to work out. Oh, there we go. That's better. Now I can see you all. All right. So that's the one continuum. So you engage with the client and then you see where they're going. Is their behavior taking them to premature death, or is it moving them towards high well-being? Somebody's smoking nyope on the street, injecting nyope. It's dirty heroin. They're getting abscesses. They're sharing needles. It's really dirty and messy. They're going to be moving towards premature death. If you move them onto a opiate-based substitute program, they'll be moving towards high well-being. Yeah, they'll be starting to get slightly better just because the way that they're using is the harm has been reduced. Does this make sense? Yeah. Okay. The next continuum is the one that we talk about, where the person's in use, misuse, abuse, or dependence. Yeah. Where is this client? Are they just experimenting? Are they abusing, or are they dependent on the substance? Yeah. The next continuum is based around relationships. Yeah. So is the relationship that the person has with their family members, is that a codependent relationship? Are people completely independent, or is there an interdependency? Does that make sense? So, for example, a mother brings her son to you because they've heard that you're a recovery coach, and the son's been smokes marijuana every weekend. He's 18 years old. He's passing all his school exams. He's doing pretty well, but the mother is freaking out. Yeah. So the boy's kind of going, oh, motherfucker, there's no problem. I'm not a drug addict. Yeah. And then the mother is really kind of anxious and freaking out. So then you would say that that is very kind of codependent type relationship. Yeah. Mum's feelings are being completely hijacked by the son's behavior. Does that make sense? Yeah. We get a lot of that, you know. There's a lot of that about, yeah, because the fear and stigma around addiction is so. There's so much misinformation out there. Okay, and then the final continuum is the person in addiction? Are they moving towards harm reduction? And hopefully they can get to abstinence. So those are the 4 continuums. Let me just come back to the classroom. Cool. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Yeah. All right.
What do you do when the mother and son come to you and you have to keep reminding them that your client is the son, not the mother?
Yeah. Well, what would you guys do?
Well, I mean, Pat, there's always a view for that the relationship is the client if they're both in the room.
Yep. Great. That's good systemic coaching there, Kevin. And that's really what it's about. That's what we'll cover tomorrow, is the system. When the system is sitting in a culture of addiction, and how you can move the system to a culture of recovery. And globally, we all sit in a culture of addiction. Everyone loves talking about the problem. Yeah. Nobody really wants to talk about the solutions, and it's so much easier to talk about the problems. But to answer your question, Gwen, I would say the son's your client, the mother's your client, and their relationship is your client as well.
And if you get the feeling that you're one in a whole string of places that these two have come to because they don't want a solution, what they want is an audience to their ongoing drama, then what do you do? Because I've had that.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Do you blurt it out? What do you do? Do you say that? Do you?
Well, I would bring my own authentic self to it. Yeah. But it's happened several times, and when I do blurt that stuff out and call it, people get very angry about it.
So Gwen, is there a way of saying it without being brutal? In other words, can you help them find that truth for themselves? Because then it's really hard.
Yeah, except I hear you. I do hear you, Kevin. I was just thinking of something that happened to me once where they didn't want, I mean, it was almost strategic. And I realized that this has been going on a hell of a long time, and I'm by no means the first person to have been called in to hear this. And every suggestion was stonewalled, every question was sidestepped, was evaded. And I realized that I served no function in the room other than an audience, and this was going nowhere. And I just eventually said, I said just that. I said, I don't think that you really came to me for coaching. I think you came to me for some kind of validation, and I can't give that to you. So it ended badly, of course. And I came away feeling, they're high dudgeon. That's fine. They'll find someone else. I told you we shouldn't have come here. So, but I didn't know any other honest way of doing it. I am totally inexperienced, and I felt out of my depth and very inadequate. But I didn't know any other honest way of dealing with it.
So for me, it's fine to talk about the pattern. In other words, invite them and help them see the pattern and ask straight up, So it sounds to me like you're just stonewalling here. Is this what you do in this space? Is this a pattern for you? And is this how you want to be? Is this taking you closer to where you want to be, or further away from where so it's fine to reveal the pattern to them. Speak directly to the pattern. You're stonewalling, or you're blaming, or you're judging.
I did try that, Kevin. And then I realized that they were engaged in a choreography that I had no part in. It was an ongoing dance, and you know what I mean? So yeah, sorry, yeah. Again, I'm sorry. I've just thrown in a personal recollection of something. So yeah.
It's a great example. So the one tool that we've got to help us with that is the contract. So why did you come and see me? What is it that you want out of coaching? You just go back and you go over what the role is, what the role of a coach is, what you're ethically bound to do in terms of showing up as a professional. You're not a relationship. You're not here to sort that out. You're here to kind of coach them around recovery coaching and what that means for them. But it's true, and sometimes people don't. There's too much benefit staying the way they are.
That kind of choreography. But yeah, I remember feeling very angry afterwards, and actually thinking, you know what, fuck both of you. So yeah, which is really not the best outcome. So yeah.
So your anger was trying to create boundaries there, and they weren't. They were being.
I felt set up.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. But it's also our job to train our clients in what we are and not what they think. Cool, I really got tongue twisted there. But people always come to us and straight away they start to put the problems down. Yeah. And their expectation is you're going to sort out this problem for them. You're like the guru, you're the expert. We're not like that. It's like, no, sorry, I'm not here to, sort out your problems. I'm here to hold a space for you so you can come up with a solution to your problem. What do you mean? I'm paying you all this money. You must fix it. You must fix him. You must make him stop.
Well, one thing I've noticed you doing and always have admired, David, and I don't know if I'm right in this, is that when somebody starts going down that path, you immediately ask a completely unrelated question, and that throws them right off their, that upsets everything, and they have to handle that. And yeah, I don't know if that's, yeah. Now I've noticed that you've done that before, that you do that. So
I will put that down to being unconsciously competent, because I'm not aware that I'm doing it. It's not like I'm going to think, oh shit, let me ask this question to throw them off the path.
okay.
But that would be a strategy that would work.
It does.
And just to kind of go back to an example where you're seeing a young man and his anxious mother, and then you spend time alone with him in the room, and then you ask them what their agenda is, when they kind of come in and they'll, oh, no, I don't want to be here. And I say, well, what would you like to talk about? And if they start to talk about something completely different, that can often change the energy.
Yeah.
You must go and see this specialist now. Now you must go see this therapist. Now you must go see.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, Leslie? What are you learning? Leslie? What are you learning?
Hi, plenty. Yeah, it must be quite challenging to ascertain what's needed in the moment, depending on the situation and the clients that you're dealing with. Yeah. So I need to collect more info. I work from bigger picture to smaller, so it's just helpful for me to listen and take in, and yeah.
Okay. Is this environment working for you?
Yes, lovely. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Timothy, what are you learning? If you're talking, please unmute. Okay, let's move on. Kiki, what are you learning?
I'm learning that obviously it's every scenario is going to be really very different. So there's no cookie cutter, but
Right.
we've got the formula. We just
Right.
need to know how to work the formula. And I think for me, especially being quite like I want to problem solve and stuff, I need to also realize that I'm just creating. And that's also what I was wondering. I did say to Leslie yesterday, what is the content? Because I know it was like check-in, contract, container. And I guess the container is what we have to work in, just constantly creating. Am I in the formula? Stick on the formula, What am I doing to go back to the formula?
Great. Okay, so this container here is I'm trying to maintain this container to live in a culture of learning, to stay in a culture of adult learning. I'm learning about you guys, and I'm just getting curious how the information is being disseminated to you. Yeah? Okay, what are you learning, Duff?
I'm learning that listening is way more diverse than I ever thought, and that with proper listening, I can really get clues to what the client needs. But I think that even more than that, I'll really have to learn the skill of asking the right questions. So I'm learning that I've got lots to learn.
Cool. All right. Kevin?
David, what I'm learning mostly is that what I know up to now, all of it will be useful, but the environment is what I know nothing at all about. And that's what I need to pay attention to, is that this is quite a different environment, recovery coaching, to the one that I'm used to functioning in. And yet don't throw the baby out with the dishwater. There's quite a lot that I know that I can use already.
Okay. Cool. Timothy, are you back? No. Okay. Gwen?
Oh, just how very much I have to learn. And yeah, how dangerous it is to assume anything. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want me to recap anything?
Yes, just because on my Zoom, your face is blocking the last bottom right corner. It says, I can see abstinence, harm reduction, and then I can't see what it says on the other side.
Addiction.
Addiction, okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So this is where we're going to tomorrow. We're going to the system. Yeah. And what we're going to be doing in the system is connecting everyone together. So we have the client, which I'm just going to put an A there for the person with the addiction problem. We're going to put the family members there, and then the workplace environment there. And this is where the continuums all connect. And there's a relationship that you find yourself in the center of crisis, chaos, and conflict. And
That
how
was
you...
timely. I love that sound effect. Yeah. That was really great. That was pure Boris Karloff. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. It's so nice to have some laughter here. Bring the laughter, Gwen. Bring the laughter.
Jesus Christ, that was great. Really, that was great. Sorry, I'm going to mute myself. I'm laughing.
Oh, it's great. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow is talking about the interrelationships of the system, identifying the role players within the system, working out who is the client, what are the goals, yeah, and how we can get to detachment, accountability, responsibility, and support. So that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. Yeah. And yeah. And with a bit of luck, we're going to go jump on another Zoom call. We're going to all move to the PRS training. Where are you guys all right to do that? Let me just stop the share.
What's the code?
Yeah, that's what I'm just waiting for Nikki to give it to me. Hang on 1 second.
Why are we being evicted? What's happening here?
We're joining another class.
Is that now?
Yeah. I'm just going to get the Zoom link. Hang on 1 second. But I'm going to stop streaming here, like we did yesterday.